Hello, I am Teacher Sess, and unfortunately, if you are tuned into a podcast for all the answers, you're tuned into the wrong one. Now, before you press the stop button, hear me out. We will spend the next year, so that's 9 months, exploring how to break the cycle, create generational wealth, create the home you desire, and live, of course, your best life. The catch is that these are the goals, and we're going to do them together. Since I don't have any of this stuff done already, you are tuned into the Teacher Sess podcast. Okay, we are back, and you are tuned into the Teacher Sess podcast if you are unaware of what you are listening to. Of course, I am Teacher Sess. Make sure that you like, rate, and subscribe. And also, we have a new system we're using, new platform called Buy Me a Coffee. You can see me at www.buymeacoffee.com/teachersess. I guess that would be a backslash. But you can see the link in the show notes. Decided to give that a twirl, see what happens. Maybe I'll get some coffee. I sure would need it. Wouldn't drink it now. I often talk to my colleagues about coffee. I'm like, I can only take 2 cups of coffee per day. And it has to be, one in the morning, one in another time of the day, or else I get jittery. Never want to be too addicted to coffee. Yeah. So, what else is going on before we get started? I think that's pretty much it. I am recording this late. You're going to find out why in a moment. All right, so let me just jump into what exactly happened. I have been doing an outstanding job, in my own humble opinion, of recording over the weekends, and usually do a few recordings per weekend, right? Well, last weekend I was out, like seriously, and when I say out, I don't mean out and about, because I would love to be out visiting some places that I haven't been in years, like on a vacation, because I haven't had one of those in a minute. No, I was out because I'm not going to say I was forced. That's not the word. I was convinced to take the COVID-19 vaccine, and I took the Pfizer one, whatever the company is. And that had me laid out the whole weekend. I was so sick. People will have different experiences with the vaccine, and mine basically sucked. I had chills. I had a headache, nausea. I ended up taking a bath, and I don't like to bathe. That sounds really foul. I'm more of a shower person, but baths are just not my steez. I was really, really sick. Not to the point where I had to be hospitalized or anything dramatic, but to the point where I just wanted to be sleeping in my room and left alone. So, and then my perspective as well is I am not anti-vax. I just did not want to take the vaccine at this time. Wanted to wait a while, let others go first. I didn't know I would be in the category of going first. Took it. I feel better now, but even still, my legs and joints feel kind of achy at times. And I attribute that to the vaccine. So that was my experience with the COVID vaccine. Like I said, I took the Pfizer, whatever the company's name. And I was asked, well, did you do your research? Did you get a choice? No and no. And, I went to a state-run facility, and they were like, this is what we're going to put in you. They gave me a card. I was like, okay. As far as doing my research, to be quite blunt, I didn't want either one of them, so I really didn't care. Even with the third vaccine, sponsored by Johnson & Johnson, you could have put that in me, whatever. I didn't care either. I did it because I was going back to work, and I was going to be intermingling with populations outside of my pod, and therefore it would probably be a good idea not to, to protect myself in that regard, especially when I feel like I've dodged plenty of COVID-19 bullets. Several people who go unnamed, who I've been near, or, my children have been near, have come down with COVID, and fortunately for us, we have been able to dodge that bullet and not come down with COVID-19. So therefore, like I mentioned, luck does run out. It definitely runs out. So I thought that would be another reason why I'm like, let me just go ahead, take this dumb shot. And I was not aware that it would have me knocked out, feeling sick the whole weekend. Thus, I did not record. And that's where we are now, Thursday night, recording, trying my best to have this out on the airwaves Friday. More than likely, it will be very unedited because I'm tired. I'm trying to get into good habits, going to bed early so I can get up and go back to working outside of the home for me, which will be the first time in 1 full year. I spent the past year quarantining in my home for the most part. Of course, I got out, but definitely not to the extent I normally do. No happy hours, no discount drinks, no kicking it with the friends, no vacation. And that one really hurt because I do love one annual vacation per year. Nothing fancy, just get me away from here. Not really seeing friends. So, like I said, to go back into a work environment outside of my home, I'm not excited about. A little, I won't say concerned, but like, wow, I'm going to actually have to spend money on gas weekly versus currently I buy gas once every 3 weeks. And even then, I don't have to fill up my tank. I'm just filling it up because I'm near Costco, and Costco is where I get my gas because it's discounted. So there's that. So like I said, I'm not really excited about going back to work. The COVID-19/Pfizer shot had me out for the weekend, messed up my whole weekend, and here I am, 10:20, stifling yawns because I'm not used to recording this late, trying to get the show out. But I'm big on consistency, and I will do what I need to do to get the show out and running. So it might not even be a full 30 minutes. It might not even be 20 minutes, but we're doing the best we can. Moving forward, let's take a talk about the stock market this week, which basically I consider it a good week to shop because there was a lot of stock in the red. I'm trying to get to my goal of having 10 shares because I keep it very real with you all. I'm very small scale when it comes to stocks. I'm seeing people who have hundreds of shares, thousands of shares. I'm good if I can get 10. And even then, 10 is with like low cost companies, So my goal for the next couple months is to try to acquire 10 shares of Apple. I really lucked up because today it got down, Apple stock got down to the point where you could buy a share for $119, I believe. $119 and 70 something cents. So I was able to acquire 3 shares to make a total of 4 shares of Apple. And I'm adamant about getting 10 shares of Apple because I'm going with speculation, but I speculate that Apple is about to do really, really well in the next 2 years. And I'm a long-term investor, so I feel like, okay, Apple, maybe will be the next Tesla. And as you can hear me saying that, I laughed a little bit. I don't really think it's going to be them. Well, yes, let's put it out there. It will be the next Tesla, hopefully. And I want to see my investment grow straight up, especially as I said, I am doing this, investing in the stock market, single stocks, while I'm on a debt-free journey, which, if you're following, I'm not going to say the name. If you listen, you know who I'm thinking, but I'm not going to say that. But it's been advised by some that, you're not supposed to be investing while you're trying to get out of debt. And in fact, you're not even supposed to be investing into retirement if you follow certain individuals. I take that knowledge and throw it out the window. I believe I can do it all. I am investing in single stocks, ETFs, paying down debt, working full-time, and recording a podcast all by myself. And like I said, I'm expecting growth, long-term plans, 10 years. Hopefully I will see my investment skyrocket. Let's not even say 10 years, 5 years. And I'll be able to, trickle that down to my children. And speaking on children, I was able to open, and I would strongly advise if you're looking for a way to get your children to start investing, I would look into Fidelity. I was very impressed. As much as I talk about 529 plans, I'm going to keep it very funky. I just opened my kid's first 529 plan a few days ago. It was something that was always on my to-do list, and I just never got around to it until recently. And I have to say, it was pretty simple. I mean, I was a little, I won't say intimidated, but when I saw the paperwork, I was like, oh man, one more thing. But luckily, And there's the unedited yawn that you just heard. Because of the connection with my job, I was already hooked into the system of Fidelity, and it was just a question of filling out a couple of documents online to get the 529 plan up and running, as well as the what is it, UTMA, I believe. Could be the wrong acronym, but I think that's what it's called. And it's late, and I'm not editing this. And that was able to, the UTMA, I was able to get my kids up and running with stocks. I did put some funds in their portfolio that I was going to buy Roblox stock with on March 10th, I believe, when the IPO hits the public, or whatever the phrasing is. And I was going to have that as their first stock. So Roblox, as long as it's affordable. I mean, that's the thing too, being a newbie to the stock game, the financial game. I'm like, well, how much is it going to cost? And I have to search high and low for that information. So as long as it's under $100, that will be their first stocks when it goes as the initial public offering. Like I said, on March 10th, I believe is the date that we're told. For now, it's been changing a lot, so I hope the Roblox company sticks with that. The next item of business that I wanted to speak on is sleep. I'm not going to get too into it because sleep is kind of a boring topic, but I realize I am getting not the amount of sleep I want. I'm having a hard time sleeping through the night. I have started a Facebook group that's invite only, very private group, and we've started it, it's not I, it's a group, up and running, and I have started Facebook groups before, but to be honest, this one is taking off more than the previous attempts that I've made, and it is a lot of work to keep engagement up, post up, etc., etc. It's like I have a long-term vision. We have a long-term vision for it. And I'm like, how in the world am I going to keep this up when I go back and work outside the house? It can be done. I think a lot of it can be done on the weekend. And I'm suffering the consequences of that COVID-19 shot that knocked me out last weekend, where I wasn't able to get anything done. And now I have tons of things I need to be doing, including recording this podcast at 10:26 p.m. the night before it's supposed to go out. So like I said, if the editing is shoddy, which it will be, forgive me. Last item that I want to talk about today on this shortened version of my show is perspective. Like, I want you guys to start thinking and viewing things as others. I know it sounds like, weird, but like, roll with me on this one. I want to think, everybody wants to be heard, but sometimes you just need to be quiet and let other people and talk and, see their point of view. I don't really want to get too into that, but yeah, because there's situations where, sometimes people really don't want to hear your voice, and you should just shut up and listen. And that sounds really weird, but yeah. I know, if it sounds like babbling, forgive me. It's late, and I really hate recording late. But, it is what it is. I had to do that today. So, like I said, this was the shortened version of the Teacher Says podcast. I was just hopping on the mic to say, hey, what's up? This is the show for the week. Super short. Buy me a coffee. Come visit my social media. I have realized, I looked on my Instagram, and I have not posted one thing for the year 2021 on my Teacher Says podcast Instagram, so I know I need to change that. I've realized after my experience on Clubhouse, and I'm still in there are a lot of people who are always like, I feel like this. If you're on social media all the time, with a few exceptions, maybe you're not claiming all that you're claiming. Maybe you're not as successful as you want people to think. I keep it very 100 with everybody on my show. It's not recording a podcast is a labor of love. I believe I'm at the point where I believe if I'm consistent, my podcast will grow. And I look on my ratings, and it's growing slowly but surely. But oftentimes when I have issues with it not growing, it's me. I'm not being consistent. One thing at a time. There's no perhaps. I know if I wasn't on a journey to get out of debt, I would invest more into the show with marketing and things of that nature. But I've been down that road before. What year is it? 2021, 2015, 16. I had a decent amount of extra income, and I was investing it in my blog and things like that. And it was kind of a mistake in the long run because, let's have a moment of transparency, I made hardly any money on my blog. I mean, I still have it up and running, and I do pay, let's say about $100, $120, $130 a year for it to stay online. But as far as profit from marketing, affiliate marketing, and all that great stuff, zero. So it's like, back when I was really putting money into my blog, I should have been putting money into myself and using that for my retirement and all that other stuff. And instead I put it in my blog. It wasn't really worth it. So, going back to even now with podcasting, once again, it's a labor of love. I'm not making a profit at this at all. I just enjoy doing it. And the only cost to me is what do we call that? Like the podcatcher, the company that basically, I can't think of the right word, but, pushes out my podcast to the various platforms, and they charge a monthly fee. I'm not going to get into how much, but it's not bad. It's less than $20. So, that's money I'm spending where I'm not getting back. So leading back to www.buymeacoffee.com/teachersats. Because if you made it this far in the show, that means you're a real one. And a cup of coffee would do me well, especially Starbucks, because I'm on a debt-free journey. Don't really go to Starbucks very much anymore. So there's that. That about wraps up the Teacher Says podcast. You can follow me on my social at Teacher Says on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc. And of course, you can always send an email, say you like the show, what have you. Take care. Bye.